Hello viewers, Kenneth here. Today I'm going to be talking about melee weapons for home defense. Usually when people think about home defense, they're thinking about firearms, like a handgun. This is a Kel-Tec P11, my everyday carry handgun. Or shotguns, like a 12 gauge, or even carbines, like an AR-15 and 5.56. But these are generally overlooked melee weapons of this sort for home defense. And I think that's a mistake, because a lot of different home defense situations can be tackled with these weapons. Things such as like a home intrusion would be somebody trying to break in your door using a crowbar or something to break the window, maybe unlock it that way. Your alarm goes off, you know they're coming in, or you hear the crash of the window breaking, and you could easily pick up any three of these weapons and respond to the situation. And these three weapons that I have is the Cold Steel Frontier Hawk, Cold Steel Gladius machete, and the Cold Steel Bushman spear. You would probably want to supplement these things with a flashlight. This is the LD20. Keep this next to your bed, and if you're responding to something, you can use a pocket clip it to your pajamas or your pants. So at night you can have illumination to see the threat. Also, you want to have your cell phone in case you need to make a call afterwards or before. You want to probably do that as soon as you hear the situation happen. Now, first I'll talk about the Cold Steel Frontier Hawk. This was inexpensive, only $30. In fact, all of these weapons are relatively inexpensive. $30 for the Gladius machete, and then $20 for the Bushman, and then at the most $10 for a shaft to put it on. This hawk comes with a Cordura sheath. You can either buy this separately or you can buy those together. I bought this off eBay altogether for only $30. And then you can keep it in the sheath and then have it put up against your up against a corner of a room or next to your bed, and then quickly take the sheath off, and then you be able to use it. This is an extremely versatile weapon in that the ways you can grip it and then the ways you can employ it. If the intruder gets to grappling with you, if he closes in quickly and tries to wrestle this out of your hand, you can shorten your grip on this and then use it much like a push dagger, and punches, strikes, you can gouge, use this point here, and use that to fend them off with, and then you can shorten your length to employ the full force of this tomahawk. Its power is that it can deliver a almost one-hit kill. This is extremely heavy, and when swung it has a lot of centrifugal force, so when you impact a skull or an arm or chest, you're going to have immense stopping power. You're probably going to stop that person in one blow. I say probably because you don't know how everybody's going to react, but you can have a good assumption that that's what will happen. If the situation calls for it, you can shorten your grip down here and use the full length of the hawk, have a much more powerful blow. You can also, and this is forgot about, that you can also punch or pierce with this point. You can drive this into your opponent very quickly, much like a boxer's jab, and gouge and pierce with that. It also has a part that is extremely useful for hooking. If you were to grab somebody's arm, if they were wielding a weapon, you can pull it away. You even wrench that weapon out of somebody's hands if they're using a knife. It's going to be hard to defend against. And then you would quickly follow up with another strike. This isn't that hard of a weapon to learn how to use. I will put up a link embedded in this video of a pamphlet on Cold Steel's website that teaches you the basics of fighting with a tomahawk, different blows and such, how to employ it against street weapons. And that's very good information. You can print that out, and when you get your tomahawk, just go in your backyard, practice the strikes against a tree or some target that you put up. This can also be used less lethally as an impact weapon. Say if a group of people do come into your house and you see that somebody is unarmed and you do not want to maim that person necessarily, you can use the blunt end of this and hit them with this as an impact weapon, much like a baton. You could use the same techniques as you would with an expandable baton or a fixed baton. And so all in all, this is a very versatile weapon for home defense. And at its price, if you can't afford a firearm, this is a great alternative to use. Most street weapons, like bats and machetes, are going to have a hard time dealing with this because of its reach. Um, Maybe some machetes will be able to get to you, but with this hooking advantage, you got a lot of fighting ability, a lot of options with this weapon. Next off, I'm going to show the Cold Steel Gladius machete. This was only $35 at a gun show. It came with a Cordura sheath. I have affixed it to just a black pistol belt adjusted to my waist so I can quickly put this on. I usually keep it around my bed, and if something were to happen, all I would have to do is clip the belt onto me. It has a quick snap system, a buckle on the front, and then walk down and see what's happening, if there's an intruder or not, or if it's just some other mistake. As arrived, this is razor sharp edges from the factory. They're convexed. I can feel by running my hand, my fingers through the blade. That means it's going to have a very tough edge. It's also going to be very sharp. This is quite sharp. It's not knife razor sharp, but you do not want your machete that sharp because it may damage your edge if it's, say, if it's impacts something hard on the person, maybe some metal if they're wearing anything like that, or if it impacts another weapon, you could chip your edge. But this is as soon as you buy it, it'll be a great weapon. You could stash it into your house. You have a polypropylene handle here, quite a bit sticking out, so it can be used as an impact weapon to strike with, either way, to punch or to hammer with. You have a wasp wasted point. This is extremely acute, and because this blade is so thin, you'd be able to drive it into somebody quite easily, and then retract it also. And since it's also so sharp, has a good weight to it, you'd be able to hack limbs off, partially decapitate someone even. It's extremely intimidating with this black blade and polished edges. So if you're wielding this against someone, if they don't turn around, they're going to be in for a world of hurt with this weapon. Of course, the weapons you may face if somebody is breaking into your house may be like crowbars, the knives, tire iron even, a baseball bat. You're going to have a lot of advantages in the fight if you're wielding this. You can easily outreach a knife and cut their hand, then follow up with that. Baseball bat is heavy and it takes some time to wind up. You can thrust with this. This is meant for thrusting. It was designed for that purpose, and you can thrust into the groin, the legs, the torso. It's absolutely devastating when it's used in that respect because of how acute the point is. So that's a good home defense option. Next, I have the Cold Steel Bushman affixed to a staff as a spear. This was originally meant for a rake. It was already tapered, so it readily fit this Bushman knife. There's just a hole here to put the screw into, so it's solid in there. It's not going to break off easily unless you put it under a lot of stress. But since it's going to be used for fighting, that shouldn't happen. It should only be employed a few times, if ever, actually. This comes with a Cordura sheath as a belt loop because it was originally meant as a knife to be put on your belt, but this is perfect as a spear. So you can slip it in there, and you can have this standing in your room, in a corner of your house, or up against your bed, and then just held on by friction. You can easily take that off, and then it can be employed. The spear is said to be the the king of the weapon world because of its long reach against other melee weapons. This pole is maybe 4 or 5 feet tall when the knife head is attached onto it, and as it arrives, it's razor sharp. So this can be used for thrusting as well as slashing. I would prefer to use this as a thrusting weapon, but when the opportunity arises to slash, that is, if you get this into somebody's guard, you can slash up and cut their knife hand if they're wielding a knife, and you were able to get it in close enough by inching towards them. You could slash their hands, have them drop their knife, and then follow up with a thrust. It's not that hard to learn how to fight with a spear. Also on Cold Steel's website, they have a pamphlet or an article on how to use a spear as a weapon, and I'll have a link to that you can read and print it out and practice in your backyard. This my room is only about 10 or 15 feet from the corner to the door, and you could quickly clear that in only a few seconds. It's extremely long, and if you're thrusting with this, you're going to reach that person before they ever reach you with a knife or a machete or a baseball bat. If somebody is wielding a firearm in your home, like a handgun or shotgun, you can still have a chance with this weapon if you ambush them, if you wait for the right time and you thrust this through them. You're going to stop them before they have time to use that shotgun against you. Just have to be clever with it. It can also be thrown. It does take some practice to throw with a spear. You can reach 10 to 20 feet out from you if you practice in your backyard a few times throwing it. So it's a very versatile weapon in that it can be thrown, and it can also be thrusted with, and also to cut when the opportunity arises to. That about sums it up for these three weapons. I would also like to note, though, that having a secondary like this Raja 2, or you could substitute this with like another large knife like a fixed blade, or even a kitchen knife if that's all you have. And that's a good idea, because if, say, for the tomahawk, somebody tries to wrestle it out of your hand, you can open up a knife like this and use it to counter that, to stab them, to get them off of you, while you withdraw that arm back to use the tomahawk. And same thing with the spear. One is a nightmare for a spear user if somebody tries to grab the head of the spear and try to rush you. After doing that, if you have another knife with you, maybe tucked into your pants, or if this was clipped to your pajamas or something like that after leaving it in your nightstand, you can counter that, quickly open this and stab them before they get the jump on you. Alright, that is it with my presentation on melee weapons for home defense. I really appreciate you watching my video. I'm not an expert on the issue. It's something I'm very interested in, and I continually try to research, learn more. If you have any suggestions or thoughts, please comment, or make a video response. I'd really appreciate that. I hope to see you in the next video. I plan to have much more videos uploaded after this. And this was Kenneth. I hope you have a good day. See you until then.